Okay, follow along. There we go. Follow along. Just going to do a few. It's very similar to yesterday. This is just day 2. So let's get going right away. This is kind of a long assignment. You'll need to work the whole period to get it done on time. So here we go. Reminder that if there's no number in front of the x, that the slope is 1. And just like on number 2, if it's just an integer, there's no number underneath, make it over 1. So you can get your rise over your run that way if it is missing. It's like this one is 3 over 1 here. And of course this y-intercept is always the number after the x or the number without an x. So if there is no number, use a 0. So these first few problems are just examples of what do you do when you have missing values. Okay. Same thing on number 3 here. Now, 2 and 3 are very similar, right? Y equals 3x and y equals 3. It's almost the same thing except for one has a slope of 3, one has a y-intercept of 3. And I can tell that because this one has an x, so I know this 3 is a slope. This one doesn't have an x, so I know the 3 is actually the y-intercept. So if you're missing an x and you don't have an x at all, we use 0. So the first 3 problems are all about what do you do when you have missing values. And of course, if you have a 0 slope, that's a horizontal line. Whenever it starts with y equals just a number, that's a horizontal line. I'll let you go through and do the graphing on your own, but I just want to clarify that part on your own. Okay. Go down to number 4, 5, and 6. Again, y equals 0. This is 0 for a y-intercept, but since there's no x, it's the same thing as 0x plus 0. So this is the unique graph where both the slope and the y-intercept are 0. So it's a horizontal line with a slope of 0 and the y-intercept is 0. So really it's just basically the same thing as the x-axis. Y-intercept is 0 and a horizontal line. It's kind of a weird thing when both the values are 0. Okay. On number 5 and 6, we have x equals. So that's when everything changes to x equals, have undefined slope, and they have no y-intercept. Right? Everything is different when you have an x equals. Okay? So these are vertical lines because they're undefined. And they have an x-intercept. So the x here stands for x-intercept of 2. So unlike all the other problems, you start on the x-axis and you start at 2 and then draw a vertical line. So these are the only 2 on the homework, though, that are like this. Everything else, you start on the y-axis. 6 is very similar to 4, where you have a 0. So we're going to have an x-intercept of 0, and it's vertical. So we have simply the y-axis. Okay, so that here we had y equals 0 and is a horizontal line. And here we have x equals 0 and it's a vertical line. Alright, so that's the beginning of it with all the little details. After this it goes into more of what we were doing yesterday. And we have to simplify here. So we have if it reduces, go ahead and reduce it. If not, you just rewrite it. So we have 3 over 2x. And then we have to divide both of these. So what's negative 2 divided by 2? Negative 1. So we have a slope of 3 over 2 and a y-intercept of negative 1. And then you can go through and graph that. Same way we did above. Start at negative 1. And then go up 3, right 2. Now remember, the slope is always the number by the x. So like on number 8, you see how the x is over here. It's on the end. So no matter where it is, that's the slope, negative 2 over 3. And it's okay to rewrite and change the order. then I'm going to put 3 divided by 3 last. 3 divided by 3 is positive 1. Keep that in mind. Just because here 3 over 3 is the first number, it's not automatically the slope. The slope is wherever the x is. Going to some other pages, the most common mistake I was seeing yesterday would be something like on, let's see here, like on 13 or 14, yeah, 15. Actually, let's look at 15. So on 15, this is a positive 2x, so you have to subtract 2x from both sides. And then have to divide by negative 1. So a negative y is the same thing as negative 1y. Make sure you divide by negative everywhere. And here's what the common mistake is that when you have a negative divided by a negative, make sure you switch those to positives. So y equals 2x plus 6. Change those signs. Other than that, the rest of this page is pretty much identical. Pretty much identical to what we were doing yesterday. More practice. And then tomorrow we're going to start on some new stuff. Okay. First, if you didn't finish yesterday's assignment, finish that first, show it to me. And then if not, go ahead and start this and get this done by the end of the period.